Welcome back to the Tales of New Dunhaven. This is part 2 of our season/series finale, The Leverage Job. Joining me this time is Azure Mountain.
Right, hi.
Hawkflight.
Yeah.
Oblivious.
It wasn't my fault.
Okay. Sani.
Servus.
And Strong Copper.
Hello.
And previously in New Dunhaven, the clock is ticking as the Great Bishop cracks down on so-called heretics that are just trying to ply their unusual trades in the cartels. Every thief involved with the leverage broker is in the crosshairs, so they're all working together now on a scheme to get the Great Bishop off their backs. One team has already completed their mission: set up a likely replacement who will have a more understanding, pragmatic view on magic. But that ate up a whole day while the rest of the crews were hiding from the church and the city watch. Now it's time to figure out who the Great Bishop actually is, because all they have right now is a physical description. So to reiterate some of the special rules of this sort of meta session, there are 5 days, which is both day and night segments left. You have your normal influence. There's still 3 crew influence to be spent. And you also have, last-ditch influence, which is kind of like a mountain-moving favor from your cartel, but will cut your luck in half for the rest of the job.
Ouch.
And I have no restrictions on heat and complications I can create. So, let's start by you reintroducing the characters you're playing tonight, in no particular order.
All right. I'm playing Lucky Simon, a forgotten dabbler. Saved a child on his birthday, and then got a dredger to take out the perpetrator.
Fair enough. I am playing Jackrum, the Gravedigger Brawler, who basically walks around, who basically uses various shovels and other gardening tools to kick the crap out of basically everything he encounters.
I really, really do love the Brawler smacking people with spades. It's just such a lovely mental image.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, I'm playing Viola, the Mama's Thief, and Viola is 2 things. She's a very good acrobat, and has and very oblivious to the purpose of doors.
The purpose of the
what?
Doors.
doors.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
I thought you
is
said Thor for a second.
what is this
I thought
wooden
doors.
plank thing? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna joke, just why do other people go through these things when there's a perfectly good window right there?
Yeah.
Exactly.
The purpose is not being seen, I guess.
It's not even latched.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine. I'm playing Lazarev, the Circle Magus.
Arguably the
does a lot
cause
of
of all this.
Well, it was also
Only
Ren.
Only half of it. We could have gotten away with it if it weren't for Kren's needless naming of
Self-promotion.
our crew. Yes, that was entirely unnecessary.
Sir,
Which,
sir
to
not
be
appearing
fair,
in this session, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So he's thrown us in the deep end, then buggered off himself. That little bastard.
I'm gonna mind control him off a cliff. I swear to goodness.
But you are the
And I'm playing Erin, the insomniac weir, who has a tendency to drink chocolate liqueur and doze off at an opportune moment, but also knows everything that's going on because of her ability to possess animals.
Yeah. Also cannot be snuck up on, and can sneak up on others.
That's it.
Wardens of the night.
all right. So
I don't do that. No, I don't sneak up on people.
Well, you could. You get 2 advantage dice, even if it's an anything else skill, I think.
And if I did, you can't prove.
Right.
all right. So since basically while the other team was figuring out how to set up Paul Donnelly as the new Great Bishop potentially, everyone else in the 3 crews was either locked up in the castle because they got arrested in a previous session, or laying low and hiding or running from the church and the cops, basically.
Well, we did find a necromancer in the streets, in the church, close enough.
I was helping out Diane at the end of the last session.
Right.
So now I'm back.
Yep, you've been helping everyone kind of run to ground, and make sure that everybody stays safe while and facilitating communication so that the entire crew knows what everyone's status is and what the general plan is. So you've been instrumental in that.
And it could, probably helpful that I'm a Forgotten, so the information network and all that.
Jackrum can't go home. He literally lives on church ground, damn it.
Whereas I'm a one-woman messenger pigeons.
I mean, there are bets for Mama's productions but backstage that he could have slept on if he just asked.
So
I think Jackrum's probably hiding in the same hole that I am.
Probably. We just spent our time just sort of plotting how we're gonna kill that stupid son of a bitch.
You literally dug a tunnel and we're just waiting there.
Fair enough, I guess.
Because at the very least, I probably made myself an unnecessary target, but at least that had a purpose to it.
Yeah. I actually just finished listening to the last few sessions that I missed, starting from the second half of the Most Wanted job today.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So we're all caught up.
Yeah.
All right. So since we've kind of gone over that, then once the first team's mission ends, you've kind of agreed that you guys are going to take up the next task, which is identify the Great Bishop's real identity. Way to use the word twice there, Spud. So where do you think you guys would meet? Knowing that the whole city is kind of after you.
Probably in a tunnel somewhere.
I was just again the hole in the ground, which is actually not a hole in the ground, but a mama's in.
All right.
Didn't one of those burn down? Or was that only illusion fire?
I believe that was a glamour from a beguiler.
Right.
To help the crew escape from an ambush.
Yeah.
So we are literally in a hole in the wall, but it's an actual place, not an actual
hole in the ground.
Hole in the ground.
It's actually a tavern built like on the foundation of like a theater pit, but no one was
and it
really
is in fact called Hole in the Ground.
Yeah. So it's like in the middle of this amphitheater type area. Not like a huge like Greek one, but kind of a small local amphitheater. So like there's actually steps down towards a central like rounded semi open air bar area.
Neat.
All right.
Sorry, I just went with the inspiration there. But yeah, it's all like, deep mummers territory. So
and we are in an even further room deeper underground that was dug out for safety.
Yeah, a little
Presume
tunnel beneath a mummer's tunnel beneath the hole in the ground.
I was assuming the trapdoor of the old amphitheater, which leads to a speakeasy.
Yeah. So you're in a speakeasy beneath the hole in the ground.
Yeah.
A secret speakeasy for only the right kind of people.
It should be called 6 Feet Under.
It absolutely is.
No, that's the Gravediggers bar, hidden bar.
Oh, the mummers are absolutely all about.
The right kind of people.
The mummers are absolutely all about cribbing the Gravediggers brand whenever they can get away with it. They know style.
But the difference is they don't actually sell formaldehyde.
Yeah.
At least they don't claim to anyway. All right, so now that we've had our world building fun, the 5 of you are gathered together. There's no client, there's no broker. It's just you guys and, your abilities, your contacts. How do you plan to go about searching for the Grey Bishop?
I am going to draw a sketch of the Grey Bishop's appearance from what I remember.
I was going to watch the drawing being drawn.
And then I plan on using the Forgotten's information network to search for him.
All right. That will probably involve a use of influence then.
Yep.
Well, even if Jackrum can't actually go home, he still probably does. He does still have some friends and contacts in the church, and considering that the Grey Bishop is meant to be like the criminal liaison to the church, it's possible that they could potentially recognize him.
All right.
So I might just send a picture around to the view of that to anyone who's still willing to speak with me.
All right. Probably another use of influence there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
So
if people tell her where to go, Viola can get into pretty much any building, or actually literally any building.
From any entrance. I've been there myself.
Except for the front
back
door.
In a different life.
That's why she entered the cathedral through the bell tower.
All right. So, do I get any advantages or disadvantages to sketching him?
Is there a skill you want to use there?
Anything else?
Um,
Because there's actually a quirk that lets you draw something, I think. But I don't have it, so anything else? 65%.
right, you are a dabbler.
Yep.
What are you trying to accomplish by doing it really well?
I'm trying to make it easier for people to say, "Oh yeah, I saw that guy."
To add as much recognizable detail as you can. You know,
Yeah.
like facial wrinkles, like stuff like that. Really try to plumb your memory.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm going to give you one advantage die because you were there, right?
Yeah, it was me and Erin and the other Crimson Lions, but we're the only two here.
Right. So you were there.
So we actually know what he looks like because we've seen him.
And it was kind of like a scary moment that kind of burned itself into your mind.
Yeah.
Because
Sure.
you were up against like a member of the Black Council who was, strong-arming you.
I mean, kind of. He did have a pretty cool knife, though.
All right, make an anything else roll with one advantage.
Can I aid him since I was there too? And
Oh,
saw him?
yes.
Probably make your own check.
No, actually, yeah. Sorry.
So,
yes,
Wait, can I aid or make my own check?
so 2 advantage die?
with Erin's assistance to add details, yes, you get a second advantage die.
Okay, here we go. Success with 2 advantages.
Ooh,
That's a good sketch.
you make
Nicely
a
done.
startling likeness.
Yeah. The action. All right. So that's good.
Just looking at the drawing, I think the eyes are following me.
So would I be able to make a few more just to like hand out to everybody to go look at people?
It would take some time.
Yeah.
Another option would be like if you could get access to like a printer.
I'd probably require another influence.
Ask
Do
Sir
you think
Hewlett.
Diane would have a
Sorry,
printer somewhere?
Hawkflight. What was your suggestion?
Ask Sir Hewlett.
That got cut off. Sorry.
I said ask Sir Hewlett Packard.
Oh.
No.
All right.
So do you think Diane would have access to something like that?
To basically hijack a printing press for a little while, one of the cartels might.
I was gonna suggest.
Probably the family.
Honestly, Jackrum was just gonna sort of glance at our murmur.
Yeah.
Murmur thief and just
Summers
like,
might too.
yeah, don't you guys, print lots of flyers and stuff for your gaudy performances?
Maybe.
That is true among the
Yeah.
among the businesses that use the limited press capabilities in the city. There's some large businesses that handle a lot of paper pressing. Of the businesses that use their time, the mummers are a somewhat significant chunk of that.
Mm.
You could use your influence to basically take this picture that Lucky has drawn and make a lot of copies so you can spread around to your agents.
So if we do that, we'd probably be using 3 influence so far.
Yes.
You're basically trying to orchestrate a shadow manhunt across the entire city.
Yeah.
Spending influence at this point is a requirement.
Yeah. And I think it's at least for Viola, it's been the only other really useful thing we could get for influence would be a safe house for the session. Otherwise, I don't think any distractions or theater tickets would give much help. So.
Yeah, I would offer something, but I honestly can't because I'm spending my influence already.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm fine with Viola helping the manhunt by having the presses printing the flyers for all the Mama's theaters and so on. Also make a batch of posters.
Okay.
Summers to the Kinkos.
All right, so we've got a picture, we've got a printer, we've got the forgotten network in use.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to try to like increase your odds of getting this done quickly?
I could also gossip with commoners.
Well, as I said, we did have Jackrum sending posters out to contacts in the church.
Right, so yes, there's that too.
I could try actively looking for him based on the sketch by possessing a bird or something and getting it over my feet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, you could try looking from above.
I'm sorry, you were very broken up. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I got the gist of it. Yeah, you were extremely choppy, actually. Sorry.
Yeah. Kind of a mix between cyborg and lag.
Well, at least it functions right now. That's more than I can say for my other lab.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
And it got back together there for a second. Anyway, let's keep the focus on the session.
Just out of curiosity, would he possibly have any cohorts in the castle right now? Because I doubt somebody that powerful.
So first, I'll just roll to see if I can possess the bird.
I'm not gonna make you do any rolls right now unless I ask you. We're not actually working in the like planning legwork structure at the moment. We're just kind of going free form at the moment. And I can assume that you'll be able to possess a bird sometime over the next day or so and successfully conduct some reconnaissance. That is something you can pretty easily do. You've demonstrated that, you're pretty darn skilled at using sorcery for that purpose.
So in addition to the Forgotten's information network, I could also gossip with commoners with a 80% success rate, and
so you would personally have
dice for salt of the earth.
You would personally put your feet on the ground in the manhunt, then.
Yeah,
in canvassing for this guy. Okay,
I'm just seeing if anyone's seen this person.
I will point out that puts you at a more personal risk because you will be out in public.
It does, but I've got some pretty good skills for avoiding bad consequences.
All right.
Like running like hell?
Yeah, that is one of my skills, but I meant more so my benefits. Like, better lucky than good, I can reroll any roll once per scene that I'm in.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like a fairly comprehensive plan is forming.
I would honestly like really help, but unfortunately, I think I'm one of the biggest liabilities in this particular look.
All right, so important question. Well,
you could attempt to leverage your sudden celebrity status. Like you're not named, and there's no photos anyone took of you, but there are some sketches in the papers, and you are sort of described as the hero mage who stood up against the cult of 1,000 eyes at the cathedral.
Because like the only real investigative
I'm
powers I have.
I'm so glad that like you being described as a hero mage just made you go like, ugh. That is the exact correct response in this setting.
Well, I mean, because
it's the response to any one of you us getting a description.
Quick question, Spud.
Yeah.
Question. What was the actual fallout from the, like, when the news hit the papers and all that? Was there any mention of what happened to the various members of that particular church? Like, what was known about the whole necromancer thing?
Some of the details kind of got watered down in the press. No mention of like a ritual that would have almost certainly killed about several hundred people all at once, but something about maybe a poisoning, maybe an explosive, like the cult being dangerous but in a mundane way.
And I'm sure that some places painted it and where both of the magicians were evil and were just
there was definitely
over
an attempt
things.
With some propaganda on that front, especially from the church, like denounced like the whole thing on all sides.
Yeah,
but that didn't really catch on with the commoners so much, who are desperate for some like good versus evil stories.
Yeah.
So, when you say that it was watered down, do you mean like the whole ritual thing was censored, or no one who really knew what the hell was going on actually worked it out?
Basically, like in the press, it was never mentioned, and most attempts to try to get more information were blocked by investigators. And anyone who actually did manage to get more details was not able to spread their message far enough to reach the mass public.
I will say that while the actual response should be to having that kind of description, I will admit there is a part of me that's like, I'm kind of okay with that. It could have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Well, for one, they could have confused me for a necromancer. That would have just been offensive. But because like the only actual investigative like power that I have is gossip with nobles, but I figure that's probably a little too hot for me to do right now, unless somebody can convince me otherwise.
So what you could do if you don't want to appear in any legwork scenes is use your thrall ability.
I haven't enthralled. Let's see. Actually, I have used sorcery on a number of people. That's partly why I'm in half the trouble I am.
I don't think you actually need to use it on someone beforehand. You can just say, like, that person was under my thrall the entire time.
Yeah, spend an influence in a scene you're not in to basically say, this background character, has been my thrall the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who I would do that with, though.
Well, we'd have to wait until we see someone. That would work.
I was thinking we could potentially distract the church a bit if we managed to somehow spread news fast enough about, the whole what the ritual was, the fact that it was big enough that church members would have had to have been in on it.
We do have access
public outcry going.
We do have access to things, to be fair.
So I also had another idea. We should see if we can hire Fred Stone to help us find out who he is.
You want to hire the dredger. You want to hire a dredger to find
excuse me.
Just an idea, because we don't know if he has any dealings with the right kind of people. He seemed like he was a pretty upstanding citizen.
That could be a ruse, though.
I mean, he helped us take down a cultist Magus without turning any of us in, so because he was on a different job. He really only focuses on one thing at a time. So if he has a different job at the time, he won't help us.
That is true. I'm just sort of bemused by the idea of of a thief hiring a dredger to identify a member of the Black Council.
Yeah.
Well, it's so obvious no one would think of it.
Yeah, I mean, like hire him to identify him and perhaps find any evidence to convict him.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Well, if we know who he is and or where he lives, Viola can get all the evidence found in his house. So
yeah.
All right, here's a question we should probably ask. If we find out who he is, what do we do about him? Are we just trying to frame him? Are we trying to drive him out of the city? Are we trying to kill him? What are we doing?
Considering he's part of the Black Council, if we can gather enough evidence against him, like to the point where it can't be covered up, then there's a chance that
Sorry,
he would.
I think we may be at a disconnect as to like the
shop
cover
is
cover up you're referring to.
sauce.
Okay,
What cover up are you referring to?
I don't think I was referring to a cover up.
I think he was just mentioning if we get enough evidence that it can't be covered up.
What can't be covered up?
That he works with the right kind of people.
Oh, you want to burn him? Okay.
Yeah. It's like gather enough evidence to where they can't deny it. To put him
most common
either in jail.
citizens don't know that the Black Council exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, if we can get enough evidence of more mundane or obvious crimes,
Do most commoners know about the
or
right
just
kind of
get
people?
enough.
Like that they exist and are a thing?
They know that they kind of are vaguely aware that that there are like criminal gangs in the city.
Okay. So
But-
probably not a good idea to bring up the whole right kind of people thing.
But
what we also could do is just go and get once we know who or what he is, get enough blackmail material to just have him do as we say.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's already put the church against us. Not much more he can do.
I do want to point out that planning like what his final fate will be is sort of the purpose of the discussion outside of the sessions and sort of the planning document.
Yeah.
There's
That
also
I've-
teams 2 and 4 still. I mean, 3 and 4 or 2.
Well, there's team 3, and then part 4 is like once you have your information, actually
Right.
executing whatever your plan turns out to be. Your job as of this session right now is to identify him, and what you do after that is kind of extra and might not even be your responsibility in the end.
Right.
Fair enough.
So we know at least that it's preferred that he is not killed.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. That's just what the church legate said.
Paul, yeah, personally he
So,
preferred.
All right.
It's also
one
also
person-
fair to assume that he will be protected.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
So if we can exile him in some way.
Yeah, but that's not our job. Our job at the moment is to find out
Yeah.
who he is and whatever else we can, so the other groups and the final session have it that much easier.
By we, I mean the general we, not this particular group right now.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
but I think this discussion doesn't lead to anything pertaining to the
Yeah.
session.
We
except
should
for
probably
wasting
get to
time.
the meat of it.
All right. So, are you good with this plan where you've made these posters and flyers with the mummers? Some are taken to the Forgotten and, spread throughout the city that way. Some
Yep.
contacts in the church are contacted. Or, I did it again. I used the same word with a different suffix again. Anyway.
I just thought of something.
Yeah?
You remember way back in that session where I was trying to we were like in one of the city municipal offices. I forget what it was, and I rolled a little too well on my convincing argument to get outside authorities. And where was that? I figured if we had access to some kind of city records, that might actually help us out. And it just came to my head.
There's
but I
a
can't-
lot of city records for
Yeah.
a
That's
lot of things.
I feel like every group has gotten to the city records at least once.
That is true.
Yeah, but I'm honestly trying to remember which one specifically, because it was like our second crow session, and it got a little complicated, so I forgot exactly where that was.
Wasn't that the boat job? Or am I thinking of when we
It might
stole the ship
been
from
the bank job.
Maybe. Possibly.
If I was a little bit
Not too
smarter,
sure.
I would have rewatched that one. But yeah, keep going. That actually just came to me.
Anyway, and then Erin will scout from the skies as well. think that about covers all the aspects of the plan you've laid out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of public documents, though, perhaps showing the picture there, seeing if we can find out an identity there, going through bureaucracy.
All right.
Although, I don't know if anyone has any skills in that.
Well,
What skill would that be exactly?
Navigate bureaucracy.
If we have a
Probably.
name, Viola probably can get the files from the bureaucracy.
Right, but we don't have a
Not
name.
bureaucracy but,
We only have a face.
Yeah, but
If we can get a name, we can.
Yeah.
That's step B. That's plan B. That's step
because
B too.
the face will not help much, even if we had a traditional bureaucrat.
Yeah. I guess people
that's
might
not
not
right.
recognize it immediately.
Information
if it's just
is
a file. Also, they probably don't have pictures, so that's another thing.
only in like city watch files do you have like a sketch or a photograph accompanying an informational file.
Yeah.
Most like actual government paperwork is high in volume and high in detail, where even something as simple as a name can get lost.
Yeah. Okay. So, forgetting that idea.
Speaking,
Who wants to go
speaking as a bureaucrat, I can tell you that.
No, it's not a bad idea. Just I think it's a step 2. Once we can actually get, if we can get a name to them, then we can.
Or any other identifying identifiers, like an address or something.
Yeah, honestly, like a lot of these ideas are good for when you actually have identified him. The dredger, the getting, searching records. These are good ideas once you can actually pinpoint him. The stage we are at right now is sort of,
who the hell is this face?
Who beat this?
all right. So are we ready to move forward then?
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah. Ah.
All right.
Yeah, I kicked the desk. It's fine.
What did that poor desk do to you that deserved to be kicked?
It got in his way.
I mean,
Well, yeah, my room is a little cramped.
technically speaking. Anyway, so I'm thinking about this, calculating.
Please stand by.
So basically, what I'm going to say is that all the decisions you've made, the influence you've spent, the sort of vectors you've approached, has reduced the amount of time it takes before you find a result.
All right.
And because you are basically talking to, searching every church building in the city, and there are a lot, from cathedrals to like little local like ward buildings and whatnot. So it takes you 2 full days
Oof.
of waiting and being very careful before and searching from above and below before you actually get something significant happening. And basically what happens is they approach Lucky Simon. Some members of the Forgotten Cartel contact Lucky Simon.
All right.
And say, I don't know what kind of errand you just sent us on, but just out of nowhere, a bunch of our guys just got pinched in East Cliff County.
Okay. I guess we're heading there.
So if you could, like, while you're there, maybe kind of bust our guys out, that'd be great.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're in on, like, crap charges.
All right. I'll relay this information to the rest of the group, and then we'll head over there.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Knowing some of our characters, crap charges could be literal.
Well,
What?
I mean,
Didn't
I
you
don't
guys-
think any
didn't
of
you
them
guys blow up a
are
sewer?
here right now.
Didn't you guys
Yeah,
blow
that
up a
was,
sewer or something? Wait, how did you even do that in the first place?
Alchemy?
Oh,
Yeah.
alchemy, swamp gas. Okay, well,
Basically,
Anyway.
fire and methane.
Okay.
say no more.
Yeah. That was mostly dread.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Even if he wasn't in his campaign, I would still blame him for that somehow.
Eh.
But yes, onward.
So,
Was anyone here involved in the little museum job way at the beginning?
yes, I was. And
I was.
Erin was a different person.
Oh, yeah.
Erin was Magus instead of a Weir. That was before the Weir was there.
Yeah, I
So
believe it.
retcons.
Basically, we just kind of retconned that, right?
Yeah. So somehow all that stuff happened with a weir instead. Magic. Ooh.
Also, if I recall, that card hit on me.
Yeah.
That was also back when we were playing with the like Kickstarter preview set of rules. So
Memories.
Because your sorcery worked too well.
Yeah. Such a long time ago, like 2 sessions.
Oof.
It was almost like it was
more
365 and a half days ago.
So anyway, the point of me asking is because East Cliff County is where that little museum was.
And so is
And
that Merchant District?
it's a
District?
commoner district.
Okay, good. For me, anyway.
Hey, it's a place I'm not conspicuous in.
Yep.
Most
Yay.
people aren't conspicuous in commoner districts.
I'm not suspicious in the Commerce District, actually.
That was the joke, yes.
Why?
I think. Who is conspicuous in a commoners district?
I know someone is.
I think it's the Wardens of the Night.
If it's during the
Wardens
day.
of the night are conspicuous anywhere during the day.
Yeah, but I also have that trait that gives me that means I'm not
Right.
conspicuous in Commerce District. So
Oh, well, there we
Yeah,
go.
Lotus Society is conspicuous in the slums.
So
Yeah.
basically, all of you,
Um,
even as eclectically dressed as you are fit in with the.
I want to have it on record as that Viola's been marching over like aquamarine hair because she can.
it's New York. What are you gonna do? Sorry, you're Dunhaven.
All right.
yeah.
So,
So the Vespers are conspicuous in the commoner districts.
there we go. Yeah, because they look
Yeah.
too fancy.
Yeah.
Luckily, I don't think any of us are.
Yeah.
None of us are Vespers.
Actually, did anybody make a Vesper? Like, at
Yeah,
any point?
Cobman was a Vesper for the first session, and then I don't think he's been in anymore.
I made a Vesper as a replacement character for Jackrum, but that's
Jackrum is too useful.
that's not that. It's just more than we sort of came into endgame stuff. So, do you like to introduce someone new?
All right. So, what's the? So the plan once you get there, the agents you had in this district were caught by the City Watch, and so basically all you have to go on is that you basically have to search this district now.
Well,
Okay.
or we could just go into the cells, pick a lock, and ask the agents they got caught. Maybe they found out something before they got caught.
Well, yeah, we can do that first. That might narrow it down even more.
All right. So is that the plan?
I could also go around and gossip with commoners, see if they know anything.
Yeah.
I have an idea that might help our people who are going into the jail to break our people out. If
Well,
Per
going
chance.
is a bit of a strong word.
So I'm assuming this is just like holding cells and not like the actual jail.
Yeah, it's
Do you want to break it open?
holding cells at the local watch station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, what station, but still something that would probably help out. If there happened to be, say, a drunken brawl breaking out that would require guard attention, that would empty the watch house of it.
So we are breaking them out.
Ron,
Pardon?
Yeah, we are breaking them out.
Okay, cool. Because I remember there was some confusion about that previously.
And hey, maybe if we break them out, we could get another influence from the Forgotten.
Yeah,
Well,
that
we
would
got
be
the
that would be
guy
fairly
downstairs.
daring. Yeah.
All right. So, who's doing that?
Viola's definitely going in and getting them out with lock picking at 90, and second story work. She's at least can get into the cell without being detected, or in front of the cells better.
So, City Watchmen. I suppose those would be considered members or agents of the Crown
Yes,
for those related skills.
they do
Okay.
fall under that heading.
Well,
It'd be nice if they also falled under commoners. But,
As I suggested, if Jackrum was to go to a bar, get people drunk, start a big enough brawl that would draw some watchmen from the place, it'd probably make it easier for you guys to go in, get people out.
So are we
Some-
starting on a day segment or a night segment?
Which would you prefer? You can wait until night.
We should probably not waste any time.
I would also,
Because-
there probably are more watchmen expecting things like drunk brawls in the evening or night. So if we do it during the day, if we start the brawl during the day, there might be less watchmen at the station to actually respond to that. Just
Fair enough.
A good
Actually,
point.
that's a fantastic point.
Yeah, because there's only like 3 days left now, so we want to get this done as quickly as possible.
Who wants to come to a bar with me?
well, Viola would come as always if this time she wouldn't need to break in simultaneously and not the next night.
I'll come with. I haven't been useful at all, so
You can get, if you can throw some angry thoughts around while you're there, makes my job so much easier.
So when did our mission turn from finding the Great Bishop to breaking our fellow people out of jail?
I mean,
Because the
that's
fellow people
like a
have
side
information
quest,
about-
but gotta do all the side quests.
The people we are breaking out were gathering information for us, so we hopefully they can narrow it down from this city district to maybe a few blocks in this district, or maybe even the exact house.
Fair enough.
But we can also do both at the same time.
Let's
So while they're
we'll
doing a
focus.
bar fight, we can get people out of jail and then gossip with commoners, all sorts of things.
Indeed. All right, so then let's get right into it. I'm guessing Jackrum and Lazarev.
Yep.
close enough.
What is it actually?
No, you had it right. I was messing with you.
Okay, thanks. You go to the nearest bar, which is called. Let's say it's actually kind of an upscale establishment belonging to the family. What is it called? Or rather, not belonging to the family, but family themed.
The place, just
The Up and Up.
The Up and Up. Yes.
All right.
Just I love that everyone's just so good at tavern names here. All right, so you go to the Up and Up, and
It's almost like a role player.
describe how you start a brawl that big enough to get to bring in a bunch of city watchmen.
Magic.
It's imagine the problem mark here, but what I was planning to do was possibly get a couple of people drunk, and then have them go in towards someone else.
It's midday. There's not a lot of drinkers. You've got your work cut out for you here.
Fair enough. Though we do have the benefit of our mental mage here.
I was just gonna say, well, we could just hire a whole group of mummers to stage a bar fight, but I already spent that influence.
We do also have 3 crew influence as well as our last ditch influence.
As far as mental magic, I actually have an idea. Since it's kind of the middle of the day, maybe I could try influencing the just get a drink and kind of try to influence the barkeep to kind of have like I don't know a drinking before noon special or whatever you want to call it.
Ooh, I like that.
Free drinks all around.
Yeah,
Quick question.
Till midday.
Quick question, Spud, just to remind me. You remember Group XP with like the Crackling Crows and all that. How many points for the thing did you need before you could use an influence with that
5.
particular?
5.
Damn.
I think
It's
altogether
all in
you've
favor.
got 9 at general XP, and then a few in with specific factions.
All right.
Oh, you mean group? Oh, you mean all together?
Yeah, all of your XP has been combined together from all 3 cartels.
Huh.
Do we still have that family influence by chance? Or?
Yes, you do.
We've got 3 family. We've got 3 family. The Crackling Crows. Did any of the other cartels have family influence?
Well, I was talking about Crows specifically, but that works too.
I don't know if any other
Yeah.
cartels do.
I might not
Actually,
even
we
have to.
might,
You've got
or maybe
2
not.
family characters in the crews, and I think it's Myken and Digo's characters.
Yeah. Also, no, wait, never mind.
Because if I can convince him without magic, because that seems way more reliable. Once we get a whole bunch of people in, then I can start like I don't know, just pick some random schmuck, make him angry, and then have Jackrum goad him because he's good.
The
at
thing
that.
is, like, the kind of rule I've set up is that, everyone else is kind of laying low right now, so you can't use their stuff.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
You've got
Back to the original plan.
you've got the experience and the crew influence. Like you've got a lot of shared resources. You just can't actually
Okay.
remotely use
If,
other people.
Yeah, but don't we
Yeah,
have
especially
like,
since
right,
Gideon's pretty much hospitalized.
and right in the creature from across we didn't barely not enough to get a influence on the family, right?
I think I've said that you can combine it with general XP.
Yeah.
Well, then let's just
Oh, we
do
can-
that.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, let me check the doc and take some notes. You have 3 family XP and 9 general XP, so you want to spend 5 to earn basically favor from the family.
Yes.
So take
2
away
general, 3 family.
taking away the 3 family XP and 2 of the general XP. And
So this is going to be used to just basically get a lot of people to go to that bar.
yeah, just get a lot of thugs from the family to just kind of go down there. So prepared to get rowdy.
Yeah.
So we hired so instead of hiring members to stage a bar fight, we hired a family to have a bar fight.
Pretty
You
much.
did this a lot.
I mean,
to be
you
fair.
want some authenticity in these things, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
All right.
No one can do angry like the family.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the circle.
I mean, really, like the circle would be like the most ideal, and then like they'd be kicking everybody's ass. But
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That
then
would-
then we've got the family can also be loud, angry, as in with
yeah,
shouting and
maybe-
yelling.
the family is more
Maybe-
like haughty, angry. You know, like
Italian
indignant.
angry.
like snobbish angry.
Like, you insult my mother? Like, yeah.
All right, so are you still going to be using the magic to using sorcery?
Well-
The Magus' sorcery.
Probably not. If we can already get that many people into the bar, then I'll probably just like sit in a corner and wait for the angriest guy to show up, and then just
Make him more angrier.
give him a gentle push, as it were. I have to be a lot more subtle this time around.
Hell, if you can just point him out to me, Jackrum would be more than happy to give him a gentle push.
Okay, well, to be fair, I also have read emotions, so I can do that, which is also safer.
Sure. Oblivious, roll me. Read someone's emotions.
Okie dokie. That's just the percentage die, right?
Yeah.
That's wow. It's been a long time since I did this.
It's
Roll-
1D100, if I recall.
Make sure you put like a dash in front of it as well.
Roll 1D100.
Oof.
I'll have to probably push. Yeah, I'll definitely have to push to make that work.
How much are you gonna have to push it? I'm still pulling up your specialty.
I only have to push it once.
Right, it's 80%? Okay. So roll me a challenge die. That's a 1d10 E5 for the success code.
Roll 1D10 E5. I messed it up. Hold on. Yeah, I forgot the space. That was the problem.
You did not roll
No.
All right.
you did not roll a drawback. So you push your luck, so you lose 10 luck, but you succeed on the check.
That was good enough.
You find not even one of the family goons that you've called in a favor to populate the bar with, but just like some kind of broad-shouldered commoner who is already about 2 shots deep.
He's two
Probably
sheets
lost
in.
his job and is angry about it.
He is not having a good day. He is without a doubt the angriest man in the room. But he's like, it kind of took some time to like read it, because he's like kind of sullen faced and just kind of, keeping to himself, but you can tell he's just bottling up, pardon the pun, a lot of anger.
Yeah. Laz just takes a quick glance and kind of points his head towards that guy.
All right. Are there like waitresses or waiters just going around this place, or
It's there are some staff ferrying drinks because it's just large enough, just like upscale enough that it can support kind of like
Wait stuff.
it's like kind of almost a restaurant.
Does anyone
Well,
consider just riot
Right.
like in the Avatar?
Just shout riot.
Well, I have a plan in order to goad them to just explode. Just not anyone in particular, just explode in general. To
guys wanna fight?
accidentally, with finger quotations, either trip or bump into a person and accidentally knock food or a drink or something onto the guy.
Or you could just walk up to him and pour your drink on him.
Yeah, but I'm trying not to be associated with the brawl we're about to start.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you get any. He has infinite anyway.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, yeah. Well, no reason to make it worse, though.
I mean, you can't make it worse. It's already as bad as it can be. Although he might like throw something at us.
And before you say a tank rolls down the street. I'm honestly waiting for something.
A time portal opens up down the street.
A time portal opens up down the street. It's a Tarask. We're dead.
Hijack it.
Yeah.
Look,
Wait,
down as a man.
No, what
Never
Tarask
were-
is.
Second story work. That works on tanks.
A second story work to Ver on the back of the terrace so she can take him over.
Yeah.
I don't think how it works. Also it's immune to psionics. But anyway.
Anyway, Spud, can I have my goat summon be the accidentally spilling something onto the guy to try and make him explode?
Give me either. Yeah, just give me goad someone.
Yeah, I've got that.
You with like 3 advantage dice.
Okay, what's the coding for the
3d8 e5 is
3, 8, 5? Okay,
All
that's
right.
a success with 1 advantage.
all right. So you spill a platter of various food and drinks and whatnot onto him at just the right time, and you manage to make it look completely like an accident, which is where your boon comes in. Like, without that, it probably would have looked like a little bit too obvious that you intentionally started this, but you managed to make it look just absolutely smooth. And he just very calmly stands up, looks at you, and then sucker punches you. And immediately the family goons you hired in immediately just used that as a pretext to jump him and like several other people in the bar. And chaos reigns.
We gotta make sure one of them runs the city watch as well.
Wait, are we now in Warcraft 3? You mean Reign of Chaos?
Lazarus, I think it's time we left.
You say, clutching your stomach.
It's time we left. Just
Wait,
leave a tip
hold
for
on.
the guy.
Wait, hold on. Whose stomach? What?
He punched me.
Oh,
I was expecting a punch, though, so...
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm sorry. Every time I think of Lazarev getting
Jackrum.
I forgot to there we go. Thank you. Every time I picture him getting hit, I always picture that thing from Sherlock Holmes, that giant guy getting hit with a hammer, and he just no-sells it. It's like, no.
He's hamming it up a little. I think it's clear that just as he just walks up to Lazarus, that's kind of clear that he's just sort of...
However, shall I
He's stolen.
A performative limp.
Yeah.
He's taking a page of the Book of the Mummers.
Yeah. This is professional wrestling, hamming it up. Just, the pain of the whole...
He just rolls his eyes a bit. He's like, yeah, this is business as usual. How many times have we done this? Like 5 or 6 times?
Every single session.
Don't think we intentionally started a brawl, though. We usually just try to drink him under the table.
Oh, right. Yeah, but
That's been your prime information gathering technique.
Yeah.
I don't think it actually happened in the Most Wanted job, though.
You
didn't have the opportunity to go to a bar.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, we probably went afterwards to celebrate.
And then started a brawl there somehow. These noodles are too spicy.
Anyway, so yes, we're exiting stage left. because we don't want to be here when the cops show up.
So could we say, while that was going on, I'm going around gossiping with commoners to gather information?
But let's focus on. I'm going to say you're doing that. Let's focus on the characters that are focusing on the City Watch, who, having found some place to kind of sit and wait, notice, clarion calls is running out, and
like presumably just like loitering around without being obvious about it until the first batch of City Watchmen just runs out because of the news of the bar fight.
Yep. The local City Watch station, which, you picked the bar because it was close to this particular watch station.
Yeah.
So you see a bunch of City Watch patrols storm out, trying to get a riot under control.
Yeah. So besides Viola, who's gonna try and break those people out?
I mean,
I think it's just Viola.
Okay.
It's always just Viola because he's the only one sneaky enough to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, just like Erin I don't have anyone who can ruin her style.
All right.
Because I was thinking it'd be Viola and Erin, but I don't know about that.
Sorry, could you repeat that last part?
I was thinking you and Viola could go and rescue the guys from the cells.
Yeah, I can do that. Are there any? Does this person have any guard dogs, or is it all?
They have canine units.
All right.
We're probably in their kernels right now.
Kennels, but yeah.
Yeah.
They're not stuck to corn, although that sounds horrible now that I think about it.
Well, some might be going through training or something like that.
Yeah.
So Viola's gonna go in via second story work, obviously.
And the Weir is going in via dog.
Yeah. So I'm actually, can I just use second story work to actually drop in from the rafters or something on the outside of the cells or people are in, or just the holding cells in general?
You may. There is sort of like a skylight.
Yeah. So once there is no watchman actually who'd immediately spot her, Viola just basically drops in a 3-point superhero landing and just looks till she spots the guys she's supposed to break out.
All right, it's a small local jail, holding cell. So, there's not a whole lot of room, and they're basically all locked together like one of the big kind of communal.
So there's one big cell.
Yeah, there's a bunch of smaller empty cells, or there's a couple. There's a drunk tank, stuff like that. But but all of the forgotten gang members are kind of all in one group.
So Viola just goes up to the cell. As she walks up, just cases the lock, closing the cell, and then just speaks up to the guy saying, "Today is your lucky day. It's just I'm gonna get you out, and you're just for the lowly price of telling me what you learned for us."
You're with Lucky?
Yes.
Well,
that's me.
I would think that the "it's your lucky day" thing was kind of the.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
The punny mama's way to say yes.
Oh, that was clever. Thank you. We I can tell you which block we were arrested on. That's about as far as we got. But I think we got too close to something or someone. I think there's a church in that area.
Viola just says, "Well, at least you can tell us which blocks you already checked and found nothing." As she begins to pick the lock.
All right, roll me to pick a lock.
Yeah.
You could also case the joint to see if you can find keys hanging up anywhere.
Yeah, but Spot, can you please do the roll for me again?
Oh yes, that's right. So I'm just going to roll you 1d100. 7.
Remember, they don't do things the easy way.
You pick the lock faster than it would have taken to find and use the keys, even though they're probably hanging up down the hall.
Yeah, that's fair.
That thing just fell apart.
Just opens the door, gives a deep bow after a theatrical performance, to say, "You're welcome. This way to the exit. Please just be quiet.
Please exit
again.
Please exit in an orderly fashion, or if you're still drunk, go help out at the bar fight down the street."
All right. So how do you get them out?
Well, I'm presuming the worst is causing a commotion right now with a somewhat rabid guard dog.
Okay, so Erin, what are you doing?
Well, I'm
Let's start with use sorcery.
yeah, okay. I'm wait, I thought I'd already possessed a bird.
I mean, that was a while ago.
That was during
That was during
the search.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Oh, so I think I missed if I found anything.
It was a factor in how long it took to get results.
Yeah, we narrowed it down. That's where we are now.
That's kind of what all that planning was.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering because if I still in the bird form, I could just easily switch over to this dog the next day.
Yeah, it's a fresh day and a fresh possession.
And a fresh bar.
And a freshly picked lock.
That's a lot of disadvantage.
Oh,
That might actually help.
4 disadvantage dice. Do you have any suggestions as for the cost?
I have no.
The dog actually has rabies. No one, it's early stages of it. No one realizes it has it yet.
The beast in its head are going insane.
Yeah, as you try to control it, it goes into uncontrollable rage at least for a while.
Starts attacking the other dogs.
I'm not sure how much dog violence I want to describe now that we're here.
Well, you don't need to describe it, just say it's happening.
I mean,
Um,
well, that's good. It makes us from an in-character perspective, from an out-of-character perspective, it's a bit beyond our personal taste.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting dogs are a thing for you. Maybe because of the previous violent tendencies, it was already muzzled and it was trying to shake free of all that, causing more racket. I mean, if we're going down the train of quote logic with rabies.
Fair.
4 drawbacks. Success with 4 drawbacks. That's a lot. Actually, I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna trigger a complication.
Oh, great.
So the City Watch is now in progress of locking down the district
Oh,
because of all this chaos that is happening with this brawl that's turning into a riot.
Well, I have an idea how Viola's gonna get those prisoners out of the holding cell area.
But anyway, Erin, you have control of the dog, and it's not like rabid or anything like that. I've just used those drawbacks to trigger a plot twist.
because you didn't want to describe dog violence. Fair enough.
So the mission is to get these people out of the jail. Are we trying to break everyone out, or just these people?
I think it's just them.
I can get.
Which I think is just them.
That was 2 people.
It was some of the Forgotten. There's some folks in the drunk tank and the other petty criminal stuff.
Yeah,
I thought they were just empty cells.
Everyone the Forgotten and whoever else might have been in the same cell as them.
The only ones left are some drunkards and petty criminals.
Yeah.
You're just basically rescuing the Forgotten criminals.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the dog sense of spell to see if I can basically as an early warning system to see if any of the City Watch are returning or the other.
I almost followed that, but you cut up pretty strongly there.
I said I'm going to try to use the dog sense of smell as an early warning system for hostiles or any returning city.
You want to use the dog's sense of smell as an early warning system for hostiles. Okay. Well,
Both got way better hearing than me.
A
Yeah.
lot of practice with this stuff.
But one question: is there some changing or something with guard uniforms in the station?
They're in locked lockers.
Well, because the idea just was that if Viola disguises herself as a guard, she can just basically bullshit it as a prisoner transfer.
You'd probably have to cuff up the Forgotten cartel members.
Well, yeah, but they can just be like, just look at the cuffs, just decorative.
Yeah. All right. Roll me to pick a lock.
Yeah, sure. But would you please roll for me because
Oh yes.
rolls is stupid.
Yeah. Blocked in Germany. 40. You succeed.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she just turns to the guy and says, "So you're gonna be transferred to the," and she makes big air quotes, "fortress," or whatever the prison actually
The
is
castle.
called. The castle. Sorry, close enough. And just hands out like handcuffs and says, "So make them look good on you." As
Okay.
she puts on the
Sorry,
uniform.
Microphone troubles. They're so fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you change into
Yeah. Also using her yeah.
her quirk where
Change
she
the
can
quirk.
change colors. Yeah.
Yes, to have a more normal hair and skin color to be somewhat believable as a guard.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of the fancy mama's get up she came in as. And then she's gonna lead all those prisoners she just let out of her cell right through the front entrance as an urgent transfer to the castle because of a high security risk. Don't you guys see how we are locking down this whole district?
Roll me lie to someone
Yeah, that's
with
fine.
2 advantage and 1 disadvantage.
Yeah.
Sorry, not
'Cause-
to interrupt, but can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's way better.
So if someone could roll that for me, please.
Yeah, I'll roll that.
Just sorry to be a bother today, but
Just wanted to waiting for you to confirm that that's what you wanted to do.
yeah.
Success with a boon.
So yeah, that's good.
So you lie, and you in the chaos. There's not really anyone to like really argue with you that
So
this is happening
it's
now.
basically the scene where Han and Luke bring Chewie to the prison levels in the Death Star, and just without the shooting at the end.
Not quite that dramatic, I think.
Yeah, but anyway, so she leads them down some alley that's believable to get down at to get faster to the castle, and then just removes all the handcuffs and ushers all the escapees to wherever the group is reconvening.
Sure, you can. Now that
Somewhere that's not anywhere near the guard station or the bar fight / riot currently in progress.
or the
Yeah.
checkpoints that they're setting up around the district.
That too. Yeah.
By now they have just about
Viola's just gonna lead all of them to Lucky, and as they reach, we're just gonna say, "See, as I say, your lucky day," and she waves towards him.
Sorry,
So-
a thought just occurred to me.
Yeah.
Do any of the other guard dogs seem like an alpha of the pack, or are they all the same station?
they're
As it
domesticated and trained for, subduing suspects.
Basically, the guards are the alphas.
Yeah, they've bonded with the officer they've trained with.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just said, sure.
Okay.
So, should I roll Gossip with Commoners to see if I gathered any information during all that?
Sure. Roll me Gossip with Commoners with 2 challenge dice.
All right.
No. 1 challenge and 1 advantage because of the chaos, but you're also kind of distracting from the fact that you're wanted.
So,
1 and 1.
3 and 1, because salt of the earth.
Yep.
Okay, so that is a success with 3 advantages, 1 disadvantages, and I'm going to re-roll that disadvantage.
Right.
Doesn't one of your advantages cancel out the disadvantage?
Yeah,
It does, but I can also re-roll it
Fair
and see
enough.
if I can not get a disadvantage and have 3 boons. Okay, so just 2 boons.
Okay. And that was you using was that a quirk you used?
Gossip with Commoners.
Oh, right.
Oh, That was my quirk, Fortune's Favor.
Right.
When you make any roll that includes both advantage dice and challenge dice, you can re-roll one advantage die or one challenge die.
Right, yeah. That's kind of what I figured. Okay. Just wanted to be sure.
Still 2 boons.
Still 2 boons.
Yep.
You actually, now that you're in kind of close, there's actually a few people who were like, "Oh yeah, I know him. He's the priest at our little local church. He's great."
Okay. Thanks for the information.
That is a really lovely likeness of him. Where'd you get that?
I made it myself.
Name.
I mean, I saw him once before, and I figured he seemed like a nice guy. I wonder where I can meet him.
Oh, he's wonderful. Yeah, he's probably not. He's only there on. They have weird days of the week. I need to look them up, but yeah, he'll be there at the next mass.
For you, it was the
All right.
best of your life. For him, it was a Tuesday.
Where is?
It's
Before
always
your reference?
Tuesday.
I know. I got the reference. I understood that one.
Okay.
Okay, so days of the week are Market Day, Master's Day, Tithe Day, Waxing Day, Midweek, Waning Day, Fasting. It's a 10-day week.
All right.
Okay.
Interesting.
So they have mass on, let's assume, Holy Day.
Okay.
That's a pretty good assumption.
So-
Yes.
So that's how many days from now?
I didn't consider this, but let's make this interesting. Today is the morning of the 4th day.
Yep. So we've got a night section, and then 2 more day sections, and then 2 more night sections. So
Let's say today is fasting day. And then tomorrow will be bath day, and then the day after, the 6th day, will be holy day.
all right.
So we know that the person we're looking for will be where he will be in 3 days' time.
Yeah.
Well,
2 days.
2.5.
Yeah. More like a day and a half, but yeah.
Yeah. So,
But this is based off of what you've been told by a commoner.
Yeah.
And the general directions to the church they gave you match up with are kind of within a couple blocks of where the Forgotten were arrested.
Okay.
So obviously we're gonna raid the church.
No, we're not
Yeah.
going to raid.
Oh, did I get his name?
now? Or
Oh, yes. His name is what was it? Gerard Benedictus.
All right.
Can we call him Eggs Benedictus?
You are free to.
Good old Eggs Benedict.
Eggs Benedict. Sorry, I didn't even realize the potential for that, but that's amazing.
And how do you spell Gerard?
Gerard.
Okay, that's what I thought.
You spell it E-G-G-S.
All right.
He is the egg man. Anyway.
is he bald?
He usually wears a cap. He's probably bald.
All right.
So we now have a name and a location.
Yeah.
And a
That
time.
could be in. Yeah, they could be enough. But
Oh,
we should
boy.
confirm this somehow. So
I mean,
how are we gonna go best about confirming that he will be there on the holy day? So whoever ends up on Team Fortress can grab him.
well, we could use Jackrum's church people.
Could
All
also
right.
suggest that after the riot that appears to be going on, that he'll probably be there to do the whole, standard thing, just like, oh, and these days after this horrible affair, yada yada yada. Church leaders, community leaders, preach calmness and love and tolerance and all that stuff.
Yeah, I suppose.
Well,
So now you just mainly have a problem with getting out of the district.
well,
Hmm.
technically, Viola could just second story workers have a turbulink outside the district. because
The
that's
district is
gonna
not a
go-
building.
No. But I could go at the check.
You find a building at the checkpoint, second story, work your way inside, and then leave.
Yeah. Thanks for leaving the rest of us.
But I could do that. I mean,
God, damn it. I've got a way out in mind, but I really don't want to use a last chance influence or one of the group influences to do it. Seems
Actually,
like a
that's an
waste.
idea. Can I use a last chance Mama's influence to just have someone waiting to wave us out as we are obviously there guys ready for the theater performance and we just got lost on our way and they should let us out immediately because we're late.
I feel like that would only work for you.
It's a very powerful influence, so you could get a whole bunch of people out with that if you wanted.
Right.
Basically, you just leverage like every single favor you've got to pull in a massive, like, really convincing favor.
Although I think we still have like 2 crew influence.
Hang on, I have an
Didn't we
idea.
have
Are
three
these
Actually,
beginning?
screw it. If it gets us out of...
What's
we've
what's
gotten-
Hawkflight's
I have an
idea?
Are these districts surrounded by? So these districts are surrounded by walls, right?
No, they're not like blocks surrounded by walls. They're just sort of, they're just sort of
So what's keeping us in?
So,
city watch checkpoints at
every
every.
Sorry, can everyone but Newbiespud shut up because I cannot hear.
The district is blocked off by a lockdown of city watch checkpoints at every street junction leading out of the district.
So all we need to do is not use the streets.
So how about the tunnel system that spans throughout the entire New Dunhaven?
You mean finding an entrance into the old city?
I could do that
All right, you'd probably
with
need.
an influence. Pass safely through the old city with your crew during one scene.
Okay,
You already spent your influence, didn't you?
you still got
Yeah, but I
crew
can
influence.
use
Yeah, because I think it's too soon. If we keep the crew influence, the other guys can use them. If why not just if we use Viola's last ditch to get well, how many people could we actually get out with that spot?
A lot.
So we could. So could we
What
get
if
out
we
everyone
just-
on the
What
team?
if we just scaled up and used the rooftops?
I mean,
Yeah,
not
that
all of
would
us
be
are
very
acrobatics.
obvious.
Well, what if we had a rope and we had someone who could fly the rope up to the top of the building?
I mean, still, not all of us can like jump across buildings.
Yeah, that's the big part because if that but could we actually really just use the Viola's influence to stroll up to the checkpoint and basically get out because we are obviously a theater performance troupe and we need to get to our performance now, please.
What if we just ran like hell?
That would be awesome.
Guys,
Oh.
men with crossbows and muskets.
Exactly.
All right, I've
Uh-huh.
got a suggestion. It would take a crew influence to do, but I could have. Let's see, what's the exact thing? Where is it? Oh, yes, I could gain a use of a hearse.
I mean, if we're going to be spending an influence, we can just use the old city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Old City's
not-
probably easier.
Yeah,
probably
but
easier
that's
than
the point where I suggest something with Viola's last ditch because getting me and thus Viola into a session again may or may not be very hard to just schedule wise.
Yeah.
So use the resources we will probably not have any other time, and not
That's
those
fair.
others could still use.
Save the crew influence for later. Use the last ditch influence of someone who might not appear in the rest
Yeah.
of the job.
Yeah, honestly, that seems like me. That seems like I would probably. I'm happy to use a last ditch thing to not only get us a hearse, but possibly get us an alchemical thing that will make us appear dead, so that they can just put us in it, put us in a coffin in the back, just ship us out, ship us out, and all that.
So yeah, fair. So I think so. Who wants to get out as part of a performance act, and who wants to get out as a corpse?
So actually, I have a question. So of the Crimson Lions, does the church think any of them are dead? What with lighting the building on fire and then escaping through underground tunnels?
They didn't find any bodies, I don't think.
They found a body.
They
A body
found
that looked like Diane.
right. They didn't find any bodies that probably belonged to any suspects of the Crimson Lions. So you're
Yeah.
still wanted.
Okay. Do they know that Diane's alive, though?
They pretty strongly suspect that Diane's still alive.
Okay. That's fair.
Because the Crimson Lions never showed up to accept payments for a job well done,
Well, I mean,
and
we
their
assumed
their
that leaving the
assassins
window
never reported, confirmed the kill.
Yeah. Well, all right.
So pick an option. It's that simple.
Hmm.
You're gonna
Well,
you're gonna be
the,
spending something to get out of this. Just pick one.
Yeah.
Will my I forget. Will my influence regenerate before group 4, or does influence not regenerate now?
Yeah, your influence does not regenerate from session to session.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Not in this job.
I will
Okay,
admit
in that case,
that. Oh, you first.
no, I was just gonna say I'm down with either option. I'm still possessing the guard dog though, so my main body is presently unconscious.
So that would be more of a lean towards the purse.
I'm
Yeah,
actually.
and then I can.
I will admit personally, just if it's one of the other, possibly going out through the old city would probably be have a few less complications. Because let's face it, if we look dead and they look a bit too closely, they might try and claim a bounty or something.
Well, the option we're discussing right now, unless I missed something, is claiming to be a performance from a Mammers with Viola's last ditch, or stuffing everyone into a hearse with Jackrum's last ditch.
Well, I can. What we can do is we can put my main body in the hearse, and we can have the dog I'm possessing follow whichever group needs more sentinel.
Yeah, that might need to get this done with a less complication, because Viola is still dressed as a guard, and we have a guard, a city watchdog. So if we have load everyone else into the hearse, and then just Viola just hand waves it, because already checked them. Pat her dog, who confirms basically smells, sign wise, everything's dead in there to lessen the complications.
All right, so Strong Copper, Jackrum, do you want to spend your last ditch influence?
Yes.
All right. For the rest of the job, if you appear again, your luck is cut down to 50. So just make a note of that. Because you managed to send out via, carrier pigeon or whatever, a favor to a very, very dear friend.
Great wine.
To someone very, very powerful in the cartel. And they basically, very quickly, in like a matter of less than an hour, arrange a very elaborate funeral procession to basically pass through the district from the east to the west through the checkpoints that the City Watch have set up. And they allow you to sort of join them, hide in the hearses or, take cover alongside them as they basically just, glide, deathlessly through the district, making it look like just a hugely important funeral procession for a very important person. And maybe it is, but they've diverted it through this district for you. And you're all able to basically hop on or hop aside it and coast alongside them out of the district.
And somebody hiding among the bodies is like, my nose itches.
And that is about the scale.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but it works.
That's about the scale of a last-ditch influence of what kind of stuff that can do. Just extremely, just powerful things.
Ooh, fancy.
All right.
And you manage to get free and get back to your hiding places and pass along the information of who the Grey Bishop is. Turns out he's a local commoner priest by the name of Gerard Benedictus in East Cliff County.
We've nicknamed him Egghead for various reasons.
Eggs.
You mean
Eggs Benedictus?
I like just Eggs Benedictus. I am
Also, I
four.
bought it
Little
with
Eggs Benedictus.
So are we the first people to actually find out who a member of the Black Council is?
If it's been done before, you haven't heard about it, and it's been a very long time since the last time one was outed.
Presumably, since
All
the
right.
last position change in the Black Council with a lot of hush-up work.
So clearly we're the greatest crew that's ever been.
Duh.
We're either
At least the best group of information gatherers.
It does strike you as a little odd that a lockdown of the district was happened so quickly after your would-be riot started.
Yeah.
Somebody knows a little too much.
But information.
Chances are, I'm just going to say, chances are the Black Council is about to take notice of your cruise.
Yeah, but we finally used the bar again in our plans. Like, that didn't happen last round.
It's a necessity of the crows.
Yeah.
And it worked really well. Especially since I'm pretty sure that this fight not going to be connected to us.
You managed to stay out of any testimonies that are given to the City Watch when all this is done.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
To be fair, let's face it, if Jackrum got involved in a bar brawl, it would not last long enough for us to actually use it.
Yeah. That's why we use Jackrum to drink everyone under the table, not have guards the next time segment.
Damn right.
All right. So you've spent some Lastage influence, a crew influence, 5 of your experience, and when the next team picks up, it will be the night of the 4th day of 6.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to move fast.
Their job will be to figure out where the right kind of people kind of stand on the Grey Bishop and see if they can either kind of, I guess, get clearance to go on with the final step of this job, whatever form it may take.
Okay.
But now you have information, which one more time, name is Gerard Benedictus, location is a local church in East Cliff County.
And on the last day, he should be there holding his weekly sermon.
Yep. On the day segment on day 6, he will probably be holding a sermon.
So now we just put an assassin into the rafters and shoot him dead.
So, I know you said no new characters, but I was wondering if I could, in the last session, play a hanged sharpshooter called Solomon Salazar.
I'll consider it.
All right.
That name sounds really familiar.
It might be. I don't know. It's just 2 of the names on the hanged names. And alliteration.
I'm sure the name inspirations on the cartel sheets are drawn from some very specific sources.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackrum will probably not be, after this, calling in this favor and all that, Jackrum will probably not be showing up anywhere near this job from here on out. He needs to either lay low or think of getting out of the city for a while.
Possibly. You've spent every favor you had.
There is still the below the hole in the ground.
If the Black Council's closing in on us, I wonder if I could provide sanctuary at one of the reserves.
An animal reserve, or
no, the reserves. It's part of the. It's part of New Dunhaven. It's part of the city that didn't burn down before the big fire, and it's retains a lot of the natural features of the place. It's where the Wardens of the Night are from.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm looking through the. Ooh. Comprised of nearly a dozen forested parks scattered throughout the city, the reserves cover an area comparable in size to some entire districts. And that's the Wardens of the Night kind of turf. So you can house people in these little national parks or city parks.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it.
So it does require some influence. If we are going to do that, then 1, we can house the entire crew there, and 2, it would take up one more influence.
So you're gonna spend influence to open up access to one of the city's reserves for the crew.
Yeah, because we want to make sure that the church and the Black
Council.
Black Council don't surprise us, because they did react pretty quickly to lock down that city.
Fair enough.
All right, I will make a note of that. That for the rest of the job, the crews, all the crews, have access to the reserves as a hiding place.
Awesome.
So,
Are the reserves actually filled with animals, or
They're like Central Park, but also protected land.
So probably birds.
And squirrels.
I wonder if there are any wild dogs in there. You know, like dingoes, wild dogs, gonna eat your baby.
So as a hanged sharpshooter, I'd get 3 hand crossbows and a heavy crossbow.
so just pew pew pew?
Why?
You still not that?
because a sharpshooter gets 2 hand crossbows and the hanged get a hand crossbow. So 3 hand crossbows.
Well, I guess you just drop one and then
You just become the main character of Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah.
So what instantly comes to mind is just Shadow of War, just the Marauder tribe bonus thing, just with their crossbows.
I just started playing that.
The Diablo 3 Demon Hunter with a turret.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing. Actually,
Anyway,
Lots of character references of characters with multiple guns. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for part 2 of the leverage job.
all right.
Yeah.
Job well done.
Well done, everybody.
Yeah, indeed.
we all didn't end up in prison.
And none of
Actually,
us
in
got
fact,
into
none of us ended
combat.
up
Got influenced by getting people out of prison.
Yeah.
We're in the positive here. We haven't
Yeah.
fucked everything up. Hurrah!
And we have a really secure hiding place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reserves are off limits to law-abiding citizens, except by special permission of the Crown. They're also the home and turf of the Wardens of the Night. Yeah, this is a very interesting section. Very, very good find.
I thought you knew about it, or I would have brought it up earlier.
I've definitely skimmed like the book multiple times, but not everything gets absorbed.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and,
I
and,
get
and this
that.
is like a 1-page section of like the miscellaneous locations in the city, so it wasn't really on my radar. Because like it's between like the Long Harbor Islands and the Old City.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been on my radar either, except I was looking through what I can spend my influence on, and I was like, okay, what is... I can spend it to get people into the reserves. Okay, what are the reserves? Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah. That's kind of snuck in there. All right. So that'll do it for this session, like I said. And next time will be, looks like Zenkarn, Smarty Avis, and Digo again.
The people in jail.
Probably playing different characters, but they'll be seeing what kind of support they can get from the right kind of people as to the takedown of the Great Bishop. Thank you all for playing. Thanks to everyone in the stream and on the podcast for listening. And see you next heist.
All right.
And don't get caught.